I like using props. have mercy. Hi, everybody. Oh, it's backwards to you all? Oh my gosh, Mary Jane Doe. Hi, Sean B. Mary Jane Doe. Happy Memorial Day. Yes, and hi, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights and Donna Clark. Why are you dancing with a flag? Because it's Memorial Day. And I thought about, because I used a fan last time with an Oriental song, and I didn't want to just do that again. And yeah, I don't think it's like an expensive one or anything. So I don't think I disrespected the flag. It says 100% nylon, 2413 American flag, Taylor in USA. And I found this at a, what is it called? You know, where you get those cheap things. Yeah. So that's why I'm dancing with a flag. I kind of like having props. That's why I wore my little, I didn't buy these for myself. I got these with stars, my little flags, from a friend in AA like 6 years ago. But yeah. So yeah, I hope no one was offended by me using a flag. I guess if they are, I was just using it as a prop. All right. So no offense to anybody. Alrighty. But yeah. So I put in my bandana and tried to look kind of Memorial Day-ish for you all. So, and I'll write that on my thing. All I have is the wise heart, the ancient. Let me get that out of the way. Unconscious. So it's a little bit of it's out of that book, The Wise Heart, that I'm reading, and it's the dreams that we have, right, and different things that we think about, you know, when we're sleeping or just buried in our unconscious from past traumas and whatever, right? Which, frankly, a lot of the, you know, military people that come back, as we all know, this might be kind of loud. I was roasting. Probably, well, not probably, definitely go through. So yeah, it's not like an expensive flag or anything like that. I just needed some kind of prop. I guess I could have used a red cloth. I didn't even think of that. Oh, so it's only 6:22 here. It's much later down on the East Coast and everything, right? Hope you all had a nice day. Yes, Mary Jane Doe has a bunch of flags in there. Oh, my skin's so dry. When I watch back my lives, I notice how much I rub my nose like this. And it's not drippy, it just gets dry. And I think it's an age thing, to tell you the truth. But yeah. So I hope you all had a good day. Did anyone do anything like fun and exciting, like a barbecue or something? We didn't really do too much here. When I got back from the AA hall, on Sky News, right, international news, there was that, I think it was FC Parade. Yeah, FC Parade in Liverpool. And I instantly thought of Maggie, because somebody, but they're not saying it's a terror threat, ran through the streets. 27 people were sent to the hospital, 4 little children, one in serious condition, and nobody died. Now, the thing is, this witness was talking, and she said that he was banging on his horn. So if he wanted to mow people down, right, he wouldn't be banging on his horn. So, they're thinking then now possibly that the car malfunctioned or whatever, right? So yeah. So that's sad. And that was right at the end of their parade. They let the colors were red and white, and they let all this red mist go off in Liverpool on Water Street. And Maggie, I believe, is from Liverpool. Maria G is from a different part of England. Yeah. So, yeah, feel free to type in the chat if you want to, and you could say what you did for Memorial Day. I used to. Oh, just don't put it on the floor, says Mary Jane Doe. No, never. Hi, Blues. How do you disrespect an inanimate object? Well, I mean, hi, Honor, exercise guru. Yeah, I wish. Yeah, I mean, people are wondering. I mean, I don't know. It's Memorial Day, so wouldn't that be a reason to show the flag, kind of? And that's why I brought out my wooden heart-shaped flag thing, because years ago, a good, well, let's see, 25 years ago, I lived in a beautiful house, had a huge backyard with literally so many flowers. I've said this once before. They gave me a map of all these flowers. It was a huge backyard, and it was really wonderful. But we were only there a couple of years, because then things were falling apart with him and I, and restraining order, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so I had to move with my then son, only son. I didn't have my daughter yet, into these apartments because they accepted people on domestic violence type situation. And I never thought after 24 years I'd still be here, like, honestly. And I'm kind of glad, though, because I've said this before. I have moved so much. Born in South Dakota, went to school there with my dad for 4 years. Lived with my dad and my sister, then lived with my mom when I was 14 in Vermont, went to school there, and then, moved to Minnesota, lived with my aunt for a year, and then I visited California and Vegas area and everything with my boyfriend, and then I went back to Vermont, and it's just so much. And then when I was 24, so then I was back in Vermont for 4 or 5 years, and then I married Joe, and we were in Okinawa, Japan for about a year. And then, that ended, and don't be married and both of you have drinking problems. It just won't work. And especially on military bases and that kind of deal. Well, we were off the base. We weren't on Kadena Air Force Base. We were over at Kitahama Mansion. And I've said that before. That's what it was called. Wasn't a literal mansion, But I've said this before, and I'm not bragging. I'm simply saying, I've shown pictures. I lived in a huge yellow mansion from the age of 7 to 10, I believe it was. And then my parents got divorced, and we lived there because my dad was a professor in Lyndonville, Vermont. And this is the Birkeland Mansion, and you guys can look it up if you want. I don't know. They let a whole bunch of college kids and all this kind of thing. live in there years later, and it got really trashed. So now I don't know, like, is it just a tourist kind of thing or what? But it was beautiful. It had like a stable place with a ring where you bring your horse, in the early 1900s, and tie your horse to the thing. Beautiful. But yeah, you missed my dancing, ADHD. Hello. Um, so uh, anyway, yeah. So then after that, I was in Vermont for a while, and then I lived in Waltham, right, which is near Boston. Which, by the way, Team Rose has family from there. There's another coincidence, and I think she said she visited there once or lived there once. It's a small town, and I think it's only like 5-6 miles from Boston. And then I went back. No, then I went from there on a plane and remarried my ex here in Washington State, and I'm still here since 1991. So you know what I mean? That's a lot, and it's not counting the Greyhound bus rides from Seattle to Rhode Island to stay with my friend, and another one from Seattle that I took both of these by myself to Florida to live with my sister. I just couldn't stay anywhere, and I just couldn't find my niche in life or anything. And so then once, I had children at the age of 33, I was able to, think about other things and prepare more for my future. So, well, I got here, ADHD, 25 minutes ago. That's not bad. Anyway, yeah, thank you, Blues. And I know Donna. I know Donna Clark. I have her, or used to have her, in Messenger. I think I still do. And I even spoke to her on the phone once on Messenger. So, I mean, I'm used to being. I don't think she's necessarily criticizing. She's wondering why or asking. Maybe there's a little dig in there and I don't notice it, but I don't know. I've always cared so much how people, if they like me or anything, and I still do care, but not to the extent I used to, because I learned in AA. My sponsor, who lives in Vegas, she was my sponsor for 4 years. Super nice. She was just such a nice person. Instead of just going and getting her food at these picnics, she would walk around and say hi to newcomers and just open herself up, for help to someone or whatever. She's an amazing person. Her name's Julie. I miss her. But oh, gosh, what was I even going to say? Oh, she told me it's none of my business what other people think about me. And I'm like, okay. That's kind of easier said than done, right? Hello to the 15 people watching from the tulip fields. In June, we'll change it to a different location each month. So Blue says, I like the female Sean name. The only other I know of is a bassist, Sean Yseult or Isolt or Salt. She is amazing. Wow, the music that I pick, I want it to be different every time, so I star it. And I've been putting different music, Akash Gandhi and all kinds of other groups. Now I can't. What is that one? Cardigan something. Anyway, it'll be 2 years this. Well, it would be 3 years, but or it'll be wait, now I can't think. 2 years, it would be 3 years that I'd be on here. Yeah, in August, but it's 2.5 because I took 3 months off and then 3 months another time. So in the 2.5 years I've been on here, I like to mix it up, keep it kind of extreme, different. People don't know what to expect when they come into my channel, pretty much. Spontaneous, whatever. So, well, hi, Keith Utsi. Hello. Everyone in the chat are having a good Memorial Day. Yes. Yes. Thank you. I hope you are too. I think back at the young folk, right? The young folk that were drafted in there, some of them didn't even want to go to war. They didn't want to shoot people or whatever, and boy, they died for our freedom, period. And people are still doing it and still willing to go over there. ADHD says, quit trying to make me feel welcome, Tina. You're so funny. You're so funny. So yeah, so Keith, I haven't seen you in a while. Thanks. Lipstick, outfit, makeup, earrings are all boss. Yeah, I even put my red Caldero lipstick on instead of, well, it looks about the same, but it's supposed to be red, but it looks kind of orange. It looks like the matte. Oh, now I can't remember the other one I wear all the time. I like matte lipsticks. I mean, all you can do is just be you, Tina. You're letting your light shine in life and not stressing about whether people like you or not. Yeah, thank you. Exactly, I say the same thing. It's none of my business what other people think. Yeah. Hey, Mary Jane Doe, shout out to you in the chat. Hope you're having a good Memorial Day, says Keith. Your welcome blues looks good from here, though. All right, you guys, thank you so much. Yeah, when I was setting up, getting ready to go live, I didn't see anybody getting ready, and I didn't do much, I just, changed my shirt because I ride my bike to the AA hall, and until it gets really quite warm, and it was actually sprinkling, teeny little sprinkles, I couldn't wear just this. I'd be freezing. So I had leggings on and a flannel and just a vest, right? So, and actually a hat, it's striped and it comes out and it's really kind of cute. It's gray and turquoise, but that was to keep my ears warm, and if it poured rain, right, keep it off my face so I can see, because it can go from a sprinkle to an absolute downpour in seconds, So, yeah, I didn't go live last night, but I did the night before. And that kind of all depends on, it shouldn't be this way, but it just is. That depends on what my son is experiencing with his possible psychosis or not. And I'm just, just really relieved that he's doing so much better today. And that's why I still go to AA, even though, I've been going since 2011. I don't feel like drinking anymore. The obsession's been lifted, and the desires and the cravings are gone. Like, it's just gone. And, getting older and waking up with aches and pains and whatever, I sure don't need a hangover with it, right? But I go to hear other people's experience and their strength and their hope. And when I share, parts of my life and why I had to stop and needed to stop, and always knew I was probably an alcoholic, even at the age of 16, because I was hanging around the keg with the guys. I wasn't taking a little cup of beer and nursing it. I was right there, just wanting to get higher and higher type deal. Thanks, ADHD. Yeah, thanks. Thank you so much. Yeah, people have been praying, and it's a struggle. I mean, he believes in God, but he also doesn't understand why him, right? And I don't really know what to say to that, except, I was going through a real hard time, and somebody told me at AA, God, what did he say? God wants good things for you in your life. And no one had ever told me that before. And I think I started crying, and I was like, wow, Hi, Ellie. Oh my goodness. It's been a while. Hi. Thanks, you guys. Yeah, this is so nice. The other night when Sherry was up with me, Wild Angel's Bucket List of Adventures, she has her own channel, and she's ordered this garden thing or whatever on Amazon, and it's really cute and quaint, and she's growing vegetables and potatoes and all kinds of things. Thanks, Ellie. Yeah, well, on the 31st, because I think of it every single day, um, it'll be a year since my finger got slammed in the door. So you can see the difference in color. This is all the same color. Look how dark purple this is up here. And it's even kind of wrinkly and everything. And I remember looking at when he was done with the stitches, right? He had to put a shot in my finger, and I was scream/bawling, and it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. Like I would literally, if I could get pregnant, go through birth again, even at this age, than that ever. It was horrifying. It was scary. It was so painful because, our fingertips and apparently our head feels the most in pain. This is what they said at the ER. And, but yeah, and you have to hold your finger there. You have to do it. I mean, you have to do it so we can sew it together. And, yeah, once the anesthetic, right, was working, it was great. But then when it was wearing off and the stitches were getting caught in the gauze with the hardened blood and all this, I had to call 911 2 days later, and they had to take scissors and cut off the thing, and they didn't really know what to do, but they knew they needed to help me. So they took alcohol. They asked me if I had alcohol. They poured it on these big scissors to cut it off, and I was crying and scared. Oh my gosh, but they were so nice. Thanks, Killing Time. Good content. That's so sweet. I appreciate that. I finished some books on things that I read, and then others I haven't. And this book, The Wise Heart, by Jack Kornfield, it just hopefully will keep us all mindful, right? My hair is kind of driving me a little bonkers. Thanks, ADHD. That's really nice. You're having a good, thank you. You look all healed up. Yeah, the only thing is I can't bend it any farther. I mean, like this one, see? Right at that joint. It's just fine. And up on top. But remember, it was slammed into the bone and the skin was ripped up. And plus I had a fracture. Because of the fracture, I had to have it in that splint for like a whole month. And then, I don't know, thanks, Killing Time. I mean, I don't work at it, but I'm mindful. I am of my weight because you can, get lazy as you're not old, not lazy, but just, well, I had that stroke 4 years ago and then this little heart attack. I could be like all scared to even ride my bike, and I just can't be. And plus, they want me to exercise that muscle, right? So, and on June 14th will be my first day of cardiac rehab. Uh, yeah. So, but yeah, I wanted to say this finger from here up is always cold, cold, like cold, cold. I'll literally, when the sun goes down and I'm in the living room, I'll literally, while I'm watching TV or something, have to cup it to give it some warmth. Yeah. And I bought little finger covers for injured fingers that are healing, and it actually keeps it a little bit warm. And it was only like $3 for a whole bunch of them, but you put it on and you pull it down. They look like miniature condoms, like for real. And I knew that, but then again, it's like it's kind of keeping it warm and whatever. So my daughter was like, "Oh my gosh, it looks like a condom, mom." So now I don't dare. Nerve confusion. Yeah, I don't really dare. Looks like your right finger's getting better, but still a little bit of a hairline fracture. Supposedly the fracture healed. I mean, I don't know. I saw the picture, and it was a hairline, it was a fracture, and then it grew together, keeping it mobilized, but or mobilized, yeah. But not being able to bend it, like, I mean, that might look like a lot, but it's not. It's only from here to there, whereas this one can go all the way down. See? Finger covers. Yeah, and they're literally, Sean B, the surgical glove thing, feel. Um, yeah, I mean, it's getting a little cold sitting in front of the fan. My finger, not my body. But can you help bend it with your other hand? I I can't. It's almost like there's a vein was cut or something. I can't even. I've thought about forcing it, and in the beginning months, I put my hand in warmish hot water and try to do some exercises in the water because I saw it on YouTube. Yeah, the finger condoms are funny looking. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go get them, show them to you guys, okay? I'm gonna put this on mute in case my son calls for me or something. Um, but yeah, I went to Hoagland's to pick up some medicine, and I looked around and took my time to look at all these different things in this pharmacy slash store, and they had just amazing different things. I'll be right back. Yeah, these are them, and they are called finger covers. I just wish I had these way back when this was injured. Um, Flints, finger covers can be used to protect fingers from moisture, dirt, or other contaminants. Covers are ideal as a secondary covering for cuts, burns, and blisters. Use only over sterile wound care. And that's the other thing. I had to clean my finger twice a day, every day, without fail. Yeah. Finger condoms. There you go. I mean, look at them. Look at that. So, place finger in the center of cover with roll facing out. Carefully unroll by pushing down to the end of the finger. Finger cover should fit closely to the base of finger. To remove, reverse the process, rolling up finger, dispose of properly. So this is the second one I pulled out. Like I forgot it was on my finger and I washed my hands, and then I let it dry, but then I thought, well, that might not be. Okay, so this is the little thing. And as you guys all know, I have essential tremors. There. But I'm not even kidding. Like, it feels protected because sometimes I have to constantly keep my finger out. If you watch my videos, it's always straight out. When I'm dancing, when I'm lifting, when I'm doing anything, it's just straight out. And I've slammed it, not horribly hard, but kind of hard, in the kitchen drawer a few months ago. That hurt like heck. And I have to point it down like this when I'm closing the bathroom door because we keep the kitties out of there because they'll lick and chew on the shower curtain and all this, the kittens. Yeah, but like it's already warming up a little. Like it feels better because it's just got, no air on it. I mean, I'm not kidding. It's like I had to, just a month ago, turn my heating blanket on and stick it under there. I've stuck it under my armpit before. I have, for warmth. But I'm blessed, you guys. I didn't lose it. My mom even said, "Boy, you're really lucky you didn't, lose it." It could have been a medical issue too. Nice as long as it works. Yeah, I think I'll just leave it on because I have this teeny little fan. See? And, it feels good on my head, but what was a medical issue? It could have been a medical issue too. Which thing or what were we talking about? Anyway, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I did not end up liking my finger doctor, bone doctor, finger doctor, whatever he is. He was pushy. He talked really fast. He became like, I ask questions, right? And some of it's anxiety, but I need to know. And he didn't like too many. And then when it looked like it was getting infected, but not anything real bad, just a teeny bit, he said to the secretary, have her send a picture. So he did with my flip phone. And he looks at it and he says, set up surgery. Set up surgery. Like he's going to dive in there and look around to make sure. I mean, I get it, but it wasn't pussy. It wasn't, It was just a little bit swollen in one area, like a real small amount, but I had my eye on it. There were no streaks, there was no, and I told her, I said, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I said, maybe people don't say no to him very much, but I don't feel comfortable, not at this point. And she said, no, that's okay. And I think that pissed him off. You just moved from Kansas to Nebraska. Absolutely love my new place. Oh, that's so nice. You might not want to say what town you're in. I've been to Omaha. I went to Peony Park when I was 10. First time I was on a roller coaster. I was petrified, and then I loved it. I couldn't stop going. All right, so I'll put my little finger condoms away. And I mean, I seriously wish I had this kind of thing. But again, with the stitches and everything, I would have only been able to wear it when the stitches were taken out. Yeah. I mean, I just, and you guys, it was pretty serious. In 4 weeks, I had to go to the ER 5 times. And out of the 5 times I went, 3 different times within a month, I was on antibiotics. I was on antibiotics for an entire month because I had to be, and that was something else. My finger is gross and in a mitten, and it was May and it was fairly warm, and I'm riding my bike to the ER, and I'm locking my bike and I'm going in, and they were super nice. It was a different doctor every time. It wasn't just some assistant or nurse. These were a doctor would come and they would press, and I'd be like, oh, and they'd be like, oh, sorry. And they said, now I can't remember if it's hard, that's a bad thing, but it was a little softish. So yeah. Oh, hi, Halloween baby. Wow. Now I'm not going to be able to forget about finger condoms. Yeah. I know. I'm going to keep it on. I'm going to sleep with it even because it'll stay warm. All right, you guys, 51 minutes into this. I know. It's really, I didn't know they made things like this. I'm sure they make them for your toes too, right? If you have like a bad toe problem. Oh, wow. You took a trailway from Nebraska to New York in 7 days. Wow. Oh, I know Memorial Day can be hard for some of us. Big hugs all. Yeah, I mean, my ex-husband, he served in the military, and his father did. And, my dad didn't. His brother did. I never asked my dad why he didn't. I just didn't think of it. I'm on rewind, so won't be chatting, but I'm here. Thank you. Oh, wow, there's Relentless. Hi, Relentless. Wow, she's from Morbids. I hope you had a blessed Memorial Day. Yeah. I mean, we didn't do any picnics or barbecues or really even go anywhere, but I definitely thought about how people have sacrificed, and it's on the news and different little programs, people having concerts and then letting a military guy go up on stage. And yeah. And then yesterday, hi there, golly, that's really nice. It's nice of you to stop in. Thank you. Yesterday, as you guys know, or I didn't know till I saw it on the news, was George Floyd's 5th year memorial, or 5 years since he was, you know, killed, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, so they had in Minnesota, in, was it St. Paul or was it Minneapolis? I've been to Minneapolis. I lived in St. Paul when I was 20. I think it was St. Paul, um, because wasn't that the town where he, you know, was killed? I think June should be the lilac fields. Oh, okay. Well, we'll say lilac fields. Yeah. Um, anyway, it was sad, but everybody was holding their candle, and I'm sure you guys all saw that too. The whole world saw it, but I didn't realize that 5 years had gone by already. You know what I mean? Since George Floyd passed on the streets there. Lilacs are done blooming. Hi, Anita, Eclair. Wow, they're done blooming now. See, I don't know much about flowers. My flowers on the deck are doing really good, though, for not getting any direct sun. They're not getting any, you guys. And they're blooming, and when the real little ones, dry up and die, I pull them off. Hi, thank you for being here. This is so nice. Will you all hit the like for me? It helps the algorithms. And if you haven't subscribed and you're willing to do that, that would really be nice. So you guys, yeah, prayers for all of the families that, yeah, this is a really hard day for a lot of families. You're absolutely right, Halloween baby. I mean, I can't even imagine, you know. And we know there's a lot of drinking, right? So be careful on the roads, or even walking on the side of the road. So many people walk and they don't use a sidewalk if there is one, and it's dangerous. Aw, that's nice, Relentless. Thanks, you guys. So I'm going to do what I usually do. Relentless, say hi to Morbid X for me. I'd love to go up on panel sometime and say hi. It's been months since I tried, but the last 2 or even 3 times, remember, the sound was just crap. But it's whenever I go anywhere else, Leanies or Wild Angels Bucket List of Adventures, or where else have I been? Anywhere else on their panel, Tattooed Angel 2229 in the past, the sound is fine. So I don't really feel like it's my iPad, or maybe it's just my iPad with his setup that he has. I don't know. Thanks, Relentless. Thank you. But I should go over and at least say hi now and then. I haven't been real good about it, but I'm not up late like I used to be. I go to bed at like 10. It's very important, after having a heart attack or a stroke or whatever, the booklets that they send home. It's very important to have a regular sleep schedule. And boy, I didn't have that for a while. Audio settings, says Sean B. Yeah, I mean, we tried different things on my iPad, and then I'd hop up and hop down and hop back up, and I went into my regular settings and all kinds of things. Thanks, Anita. Thank you. Well, I just thought I'd put my little what is it called, bandana on, and my little flag earrings that my friend, I can't even remember her name. I mean, the hall shut down the street, and now I can't remember her name. And she gave me, people like to give gifts, and it's just like, wow, here's some. She works at Kohl's, so that's probably where she got these. But thank you, thanks for saying that. Um, so yeah, I think Relentless. I had a stress-induced heart attack, and I mean, it's everything. It's my mom's passing. It's quibbling, if you want to call it, with different creators. And quibbling with different turtles in the past didn't help, and my son's issues, a lot of that, and it's a little of everything. Does your son have any desires to move out? Yeah, I mean, he was in his own place, but it wasn't even 2 weeks, and that's when the signs of this schizoid affective disorder was happening. He felt like he was smelling things through the kitchen from the other, like he's getting suspicious and all. That was, well, he'll be 30 in December, so that was almost 10 years ago. And then a good 8 years ago, I put him on the public housing, right? Because he was on SSI then, and his name came up, and the place was near Everett, which is, I think, 45 minutes or so from Seattle, but a good hour and 20 minutes or hour and a half from here. And he's like, I really don't want to go, Mom. I really don't want to go. And I just didn't have the heart to send him away, you guys. I don't know. In hindsight, I probably should have. I probably should have said, no, you gotta, you're 20 and I know you're afraid. I just couldn't make him go. So that's on the table for someday, hopefully. I mean, when I'm gone, even an hour, my phone is ringing and I have to turn it, way down, sometimes leave, and okay, and I mean, needy isn't the word. It's almost like separation anxiety or something. I don't know. I don't know what to do. But I share my feelings at AA, and it's helpful. But for adults with these situations, it's called a comorbid when it's more than one. And he has a lot, the OCD and anxiety and depression, and they say he's bipolar and schizoid affective disorder. He's not schizophrenic. But I found out schizoid affective disorder, because it's affective means depression, is almost worse than schizophrenia. This counselor guy said, he's like 72, he said. But I don't know, like, I've seen programs on people with schizophrenia, and that almost seems scarier. So it can come out of anywhere, and I've read a lot about it. The onset is usually adolescence, 2021, and most of people that are schizophrenic are men. Isn't that bizarre? So, when you're struggling with intrusive thoughts and OCD and persecuting thoughts, and I mean, he absolutely, unequivocally, 1000%, no matter what his dad says, his grandma, me for the past 10 years, believes he's going to be persecuted by witches. There, I said it. Yeah. I mean, I've read my Jesus Calling. He has Bibles. And that's why I ordered the Intrusive Thoughts Tool Workbook. And then another one. I ordered 3 books. I just didn't know what to do. We're in the middle of reading this one. He doesn't like to read, he won't read. So I ordered this on Amazon. I think it was like $12. Overcoming Unwanted Intrusive Thoughts, a CBT based guide. So that stands for Cerebral Behavioral Therapy, based guide to getting over frightening, obsessive, or disturbing thoughts. Written really, really well done, or well. And then this one we still need to work on, the Intrusive Thoughts Toolkit. I got these about 3 months ago. And then this one, the Unwanted Thoughts and Intense Emotions Workbook. I mean, I've never ordered anything like this, but this is where we're at. This is where we're at. And yeah. And yeah, killing time as far as his father goes, his dad wants him out of here again. And Parker did that before the C disease came. I'm not making this up. 19 times back and forth for 8 years, or no, 4 years before the C disease. So now he's been here and only here for 5 years. And that's because of the C disease. I mean, it is. And his dad hasn't visited yet. And that's what he wants him to do, you know, is visit. But I'm constantly letting my son go. He wants to go, then he goes. But when he doesn't feel safe for whatever reason, or scared or nervous or anxiety and wants to come home, I tell him, you always will have a home here, you know? Yeah. Now, so he knows that, but it's hard. And as far as so anyway, yeah, but he doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to go now. Because my ex's situation, I won't talk about it again, but it's out of control, kind of. And he's going through some pretty serious health issues of his own, my ex. And then all his doctors are here, his gastroenterologist, his psychiatrist, his dentist, his main doctor, his eye doctor, right? Have I missed anything? It's all here. And I think he's going to start counseling therapy again. He did that, telemed, for two or 3 years. And that was working. That was good. The guy even took a workshop, classes or whatever, for 2 months to learn more about OCD because, you know, look it up. If you've never heard of obsessive compulsive disorder, it can be debilitating. I mean, there's people, they have to check their door to leave to go to work 30 times over and over. They'll walk away and they're like, no. And apparently it's a disease of doubt. And there's things on the internet. There's a thing called NOCD, NOCD. And the therapist guy has it or used to have it. Now, there's no cure for it, supposedly. You can just learn how to manage it. You can't just take a pill and have it go away. You can't just do a bunch of counseling and have it go away. But there is stuff called exposure therapy for people that have it really, really bad, right? They just can't function. And so when thoughts are getting really, really bad for people, it can be debilitating, you know. Um, so yeah. All right, you guys. So thanks, Mary Jane Doe. Thank you. I know I'm a good mother. Am I perfect all the time? No. Do I get frustrated? Yeah. Do I, say things I shouldn't? Yeah. Do I? Oh, wow. Hi, undefeatable Smiley Miley. It's okay if you're coming in a little later or whatever. It's sweet of you to be here. But it's hard. I mean, it's just plain hard. If I was still married, I there's a big part of me, you guys, that think it was nearly a mistake for his father to sign him up for his SSI, for then ADHD. But I know he had OCD and other things. I know because I went to these counseling appointments with him. He's had issues his whole life, and he's been on meds, all kinds, since he was 11. Yeah. So it's a struggle, and it probably always will be. We've even brought him to a little Calvary church to be prayed for. They put hands on him and everything. Yeah, he was willing to have that done. He seems okay. I don't want to say on here what he's doing, but he's doing better. We'll just say that. I don't want to say on here what he's doing because my ex is probably watching this. But he's doing better. We'll just say that, and has some hope. You know what I mean? So, so this ancient unconscious is kind of interesting, and I don't read the whole chapter. I just find parts that I want to share with you guys. Oh, the guy honking the horn at the crowd, it could have been a medical issue. Yeah, because that's the thing. He was honking his horn, they said, in Liverpool, England. And if you wanted to mow down a whole bunch of people, you probably wouldn't honk your horn. So yeah, I feel really bad for the guy. I mean, he's in custody and everything. Yeah. Yeah, and as far as my daughter killing time, she's hopeful that she's going to get this job that she wants, and she's got a little money saved for the day when, if she wants to room with someone or get her own place. Things are so expensive in Washington State. Things in Bellingham, the town I'm in, I've said my town before, are as expensive as Seattle now. And Seattle's damn expensive. So yeah, this is not a cheap place to live. My rent, if I wasn't on housing, is $2,254 every month for this 3-bedroom apartment. But I'm on housing. And because of that, I pay a little under $1,000. Thank God. All right, you guys, I'm going to put my avatar on so you can hear my voice, think more about what I'm saying. And it's a mindfulness thing or book. Okay. So all right. So the ancient unconscious, from this book, The Wise Heart by Jack Kornfield. This is chapter 11 we're on. On the weekends, I'm going to do the little trivia game or some other kind of word game. with Sherry, Wild Angels Bucket List of Adventures, and anyone else that wants to come up on panel, and then everybody in chat. I think we had fun doing some trivia questions. I think that was Friday night. Some years ago, I was enjoying a walk with my mother in Golden Gate Park. Okay, suddenly a black Labrador retriever began to run toward us. For both of us, there was a moment of pure seeing and then the recognition, this is a dog. Almost immediately, there arose our patterns of response. For me, it was warm feelings and a love of big sloppy dogs. For my mother, it was fear. Yes, Mary Jane Doe, prices are really high everywhere. They are. For my mother, it was fear. When she was 4 years old, my mother had stayed with a strict uncle. He periodically threatened that if she misbehaved, she would be put down in the dark basement where his big Rottweiler lived. It's so awful. On seeing a dog running toward her, her unconscious memories, beliefs, emotions, and bodily holdings all became activated. She saw this friendly black lab with the unconscious perception of a traumatized 4-year-old. For some years, my mother did not know why she feared dogs. Now, because she understands the genesis of her fears, she is somewhat less afraid, but in many ways, she is still unconscious of her identification with her fear. The story and conditioning still operates as if she were a child. Okay, there's an example. Like my mother's fear of dogs, the individual unconscious contains memories, images, and beliefs about the nature of the world and ourselves. It also contains impulses such as fears, aggression, desires, insecurities, protectiveness, altruism, love, courage, and wisdom. Every experience we have leaves an imprint, and this impression is stored as a seed until proper conditions arise for it to reemerge. These seeds hold the potential for the future. The more often we repeat a pattern, the stronger the seed. Even if we seem to forget an incident, its seeds and impressions remain in the unconscious and can reemerge to affect the present and shape future perceptions and events. These stored patterns of perception have memories and beliefs, associated emotions, and even a physical dimension of patterns in the body. Mindfulness practice uncovers these patterns held in the individual unconscious. These become revealed through our body, our emotions, our images, our dreams. Relief can come from bringing unconscious patterns into awareness. Certain traumas and yet this process does not always yield simple, rapid healing. Certain traumas and unconscious patterns can take years to unravel. So there is a personal and a universal unconscious. Turning awareness to the unconscious brings understanding and freedom. Okay, so there's dreams in the unconscious. We need to come to terms with the power of our unconscious drives and instincts and the enormous suffering they can cause. The three unhealthy roots, grasping, aversion, and delusion, must be clearly understood and transformed. This is a difficult process, as we will see in the chapters ahead. These three roots are the primary unconscious drives, which generate all the difficult mental states. Grasping, aversion, and delusion give rise to anger, pride, fear, sloth, and overindulgence. They produce misperception, doubt, restlessness, clinging to subtle pleasure, and the comparing mind. These unconscious forces can lie dormant, and when conditions are right, they are activated. With mindfulness, we can become aware of the impulses of greed or pride or anger and release some of their powerful effects. But we soon discover that even if we let go of our entanglement in them for a moment, they will return. This is because their unconscious roots remain untouched. We can take any area of suffering in our life, we bring it to the mind, then we carefully examine the unconscious roots of this suffering. Where is this suffering felt most strongly in our body? What are the underlying emotions and images and beliefs that hold it in place? These difficult images, feelings, and bodily contractions are faced and examined repeatedly. With profound attention, we discover these instincts and drives to be empty, the stuff of illusion, and we are released from them and become free. Release from the unconscious tendencies is the work of a lifetime. Wow. So the next chapter will be transforming the roots of suffering. And I've covered, for people who don't know or haven't heard any of the book here that I'm reading, chapters on Who Are You Really? Nobility, Our Original Goodness, then Holding the World in Kindness, A Psychology of Compassion, and then Who Looks in the Mirror, The Nature of Consciousness, The Colorings of Consciousness, The Mysterious Illusion of Self, and then From the Universal to the Personal, and then Mindfulness, The Great Medicine, started that last week in here, The Liberating Power of Mindfulness. And people that were in chat did a little bit of, or tried to do some meditation with me, which I really, that was the second time I had ever done it. Basically, when your mind wavers, you just go back to your breathing. And it could happen hundreds of times, but you want to just think about your breathing, sitting still in a quiet place. So the liberating power of mindfulness, then This Precious Human Body, The River of Feelings, The Storytelling Mind was last week or a few days ago, and then this one, The Ancient Unconscious. And like I said, they'll be transforming the roots of suffering. Yeah. So I will cover that next time. And I forgot to read the copyright disclaimer, which I will do. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. So, okay, I was peeking at chat. So, put in chat if you've ever meditated, or if it's something you think you might want to do just to sort of ground yourself, because we're in such a busy times, right? Busy world and times now. Thanks, Mary Jane Doe. And while you're jotting down or writing in chat, if you've ever meditated or tried it, or I had Killen Time said I had my baby when I was 43, and I always wondered what would happen to her if she wasn't grown by the time that I got old, but she's 19 now and on her own. Oh, oh, it is a concern for me. It is. It's a concern for her, especially, and I don't mean to keep bringing it up, but having the stroke 4 years ago is bad enough, the ischemic thalamic stroke. Having the stress induced heart attack, none of us thought I was going to have, especially me, because I was on heart medicine. And now I'm on two more, Jardiance and Metoprolol, lisinopril and rosuvastatin, my Zoloft, and my 81 milligram children's aspirin, or adult kind you can swallow. And I used to be on a water pill, but they took me off that because the Metoprolol kind of works like that. Or is it the Jardiance? I can't remember. I used to be on Propapanol for my tremors, but it was making my heart race. So, and I do take a Centrum. I take 55 and over for women, Centrum. My mother is the one, and she's a former nurse, that said that's a really good vitamin to take. So, oh, that's fine. Yeah, I scrubbed my kitchen sink today with some Ajax just so it'd be kind of shiny, and vacuumed the house earlier. Mary Jane Doe says, I try to meditate when I do yoga. It's tough because there's always something I have to pay attention to. Wow, I had no idea. Good for you. Good for you. Okay. So, you guys, I've been on here an hour, almost an hour and a half, and it's been nice, very nice to reconnect with all of you again. And I'm finding the song that I'm going to play for my other iPad. Um, that Sierra Queen Pin Clark made for me yesterday on Suno. And it has now become my outro song because it has such a great beat to it. So I'm going to pull it up. Okay, there it is. Right now. And I just want to say thank you so much for being here, and those in the tulip fields. And, just lean on your higher power. God can also be good, orderly direction. Yeah, because not everybody believes in God. We all have our own beliefs. So thanks, Killing Time. I really appreciate that when people say I'm a good mom. I sacrificed my own family so my kids wouldn't have to move like I did all the time and go to a different middle school and high school and this and that. But I sacrificed. I did. Living close to my mom, my dad were both in Iowa, and my sister has been in Missouri for the past, is it 30 years? 30 years. So, yeah. And that reminds me, she left me a voicemail. She called me pretty early this morning, so I need to listen to that as soon as I get off, because I contacted her yesterday. I did a little voice recording message because I wasn't able to call her. I don't know if she ran out of minutes. I don't know what's going on, but oh, nice. Look at all those white hearts. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for all of this. And thank you so much. I'm going to play this song, and I'm going to put this up here with all the hearts. And Yeah. Maybe I like that too, but I think I want to put this up and leave it up because YouTube takes a picture. And if my ex still watches my programs, he will see that other people think that I'm a good mom too. People that don't even really know me, you know. Killing Time says you're a good mom, and Mary Jane Doe said I'm a good mom. And you're a great mother, says Mary Jane Doe. Well, you both said I'm a good mom, so what I'm going to do is just put this up with the red and white hearts and play this really cool song called Unapologetic Papercut Tina by Sierra Queenpin Clark on Suno. So I love you guys. Hit the like and subscribe if you're willing to, and I should see you tomorrow. Happy Memorial Day. It's over, obviously, nearly for many people. And prayers to anybody that needs them. All right, you guys. Bye for now.
Hey, paper cut, Tina, red crown, gleam sharper. Supermom vibes, keep the scene in order. Ruby hips move smoother than rich butter. Life's the jungle, she chopping through the utter clutter. Unapologetic, steel in her veins. Flaming red hair, igniting the flames. Trap bounce, turn heads, no need for claims. Tina got the world spinning in her lane. Feel good anthem for the heart to break. She bends, but don't fold. Risk what's at stake. Deep bass drops, hearts quake, earth shakes. Tina on fire, every move she makes. Hardcore grind, she make the rules bend. Fierce mama bear, no time to pretend. Mic in one hand, babe in the other. Queens don't slumber, she a force undercover. Yeah. Molded chaos, wears it like a crown. Life threw punches, but she never stayed down. Dynamic rhythms, put the drama out of town. Paper cut, Tina, royalty profound. Feel good anthem for the unyielding crew. Dance floor breaks under feet like it's new. Rap beats rain, 808s in the brew. Tina's groove conquering, bold and true. Hey, paper cut, Tina, red crown, clean sharper. Supermom vibes, keep the scene in order. Ruby hips move smoother than rich butter. Life's the jungle, she chopping through the utter clutter. Unapologetic, steel in her veins. Flaming red hair, igniting the flames. Trap bounce, turn heads, no need for claims. Tina got the world spinning in her lane. Feel good anthem for the heart to break. She bends, but don't fold. Risk what's at stake. Deep bass drops, hearts quake, earth shakes. Tina on fire, every move she makes. Hardcore grind, she make the rules bend. Fierce mama bear, no time to pretend. Mic in one hand, babe in the other. Queens don't slumber, she a force undercover.